Hey, we're back.
We are back. Back in our studio, back at the back fence.
I haven't got Mondayitis either.
No, good. Well, do you know what? Everyone should get their dancing shoes out because we've announced it, and then we've got a big event coming up, a back fence disco. What fun. FUNN.
Yeah.
That's what we're about. We're having it at a gorgeous place called Positive Energy.
It's so cool. It reminds me of a place I went to. I know it sounds wanky, but I was in Sunset Boulevard, and there was just near Beverly Hills in LA, and there was this cool club, and beautiful. I don't know, something about the ambience of the room, and I went, beautiful. Wow. And this place, Positive Energy in Balgala, it reminded me of that. And when I walked in, I rang Nick and I went, we've got to have the event here. So tickets are going quickly. So look, I know already. It's going to fill very fast. So look, honestly, a lot of people have asked about it, or friends have talked about it. Get in, because we do have a limit. We can't extend it.
Yeah, and it's Feel Good Friday. It's Friday the 29th of May. It's great. And for anyone all over Sydney, if you're interstate, good excuse to come on. We know when we had our last event last year, we had people coming from Perth, from Melbourne, from everywhere. So it's a really good chance you can come solo.
That's what I love when you say
bring a girlfriend.
Come solo. It doesn't matter.
Dress to dance. Anything goes. We've got Catherine Alcorn, who's actually a guest on our podcast. She's got one of the best voices as well. So she was trained building up a few numbers as well, so and a few surprises, so it'll be so much fun. So
surprises, you and me never. So anyway, guys, I really mean what I say. If you want a ticket, grab one. Quick.
Yeah, and they'll be in the link and also in our show notes and sort of all over the place. So
and we'll have more. If you miss out, we will be
hang out with us. Sam's going to be there dancing the night away, and so it's for everybody.
It's in your hood.
But you know what? Let's get on with this, because we have got some two beautiful women sitting right across the back fence. So let me introduce you. We've got today the award-winning filmmaker, artist and director Jasmine Tarasin, and the accomplished actor Maeve Dermody, sitting right at our back fence. How lucky are we? Now, we love our films, and every so often a story comes along that really sticks with you and sparks a bigger conversation. Life Could Be a Dream, already winning Best Independent Film at the Montreal Film Festival, is one of those films. It's powerful, intimate story that uses storytelling to shine a light on coercive control, financial abuse, and those quieter patterns that can sit underneath relationships, but also how we can start to see things more clearly and make different choices moving forward. So there's so much positivity in this, which is just great. So look, it's a full circle moment, because we've known Jazz for like nearly 30 years. We know your dad and we know your stepmum.
Beautiful.
And it's great to meet you, Maeve. So welcome to the back fence, ladies.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
It's actually probably prettier than a back fence, but it's a studio. But I'm going to say that. Look, where do you start with something like this? Because this film, of course, Life Could Be a Dream. By the way, when does it come into cinemas, just quickly?
So the national release is the 14th of May. And we have a premiere in Sydney 1st of May and Melbourne 29th of April.
Okay, so it's shortly. Because it's great to be talking about a film now, because it's like, I remember I heard that interview. So basically, the way I want to start is let's talk about, Jazz, your journey in the film industry, A, and B, leading into something, particularly with the subjects such as coercive control and financial abuse, which is covered in the film. Let's just unpack that a little bit.
Well, look, I've been a filmmaker my whole life. I've never had a job. I think that I've been thinking about becoming a surgeon lately.
That's a great line.
It's really hard.
I love that.
But I don't know anything else. And so this is what I do. And as my father has said to me, you don't have a choice but to create. So I'm like, okay, great, thanks. But so my whole life I have worked making documentaries, films, artworks, also work commercially, internationally. So this has been, everything for me. And I'm also a mother. I have 2 kids of my own and a stepdaughter. So juggling, motherhood and film, and also just, where we're going in the world as well. And I feel like I'm very, very passionate about gender equality in the film industry. That's been a real lack of, and I've been quite an advocate and ran like female masterclasses in directing over the years, and really tried to push forward for that kind of thing. But I'm also very passionate about telling women's untold stories, especially as I have a daughter. That gaze that historically that is always one particular gaze, and so I want to kind of see a kind of variety in that. So my last documentary before this film was the untold story of how women, the history of women's rights in Australia. So that was really, really fascinating.
And that's called?
Utopia Girls, yeah. And after this film, I'm making a film called The Untold Story of Jessie Bell Ray, which is based on an adaptation of Courtney Collins' book, The Burial, which is the story of Australia's most famous female bushranger. It's like a female Ned Kelly.
Oh, we can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's a feminist Western, yeah.
Go Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Yeah, but this film came in a different way, and this film was born out of, during COVID, the rising statistics in domestic violence I just found absolutely shocking. And just being at home with my family during COVID and knowing the intensity of that environment, and how that could end up being an entrapment if you were not in a good space. And I just started to talk to Courtney. We're dear friends, and we also collaborators, and we were just talking about, we had family members and friends that had this experience, and also I was weirdly doing a small documentary series where I was really interested in single mums and sons, on that turn from boy to man, that dynamic, and I found that relationship really, really interesting. So this film has been born from those two things, those very intense kind of relationships between mother and son, and also to shine a light on this invisible cage that most people I know don't know the kind of roadmap of what this looks like, because it's something that is new to awareness. It's been here forever, but the kind of like invisible cage and web of something like coercive control is sort of really something that's really hard, very, very hard to understand. And as my son, who happens to now be in the film, was becoming of age, I really wanted to try and create an awareness about these type of concerns and these issues, but also a story of hope and family and resilience. So that's kind of how it came about. And Courtney and I developed the story, and then she wrote the script. And then we kind of ran towards this project. We wanted to do it quite quickly because, as you know, with certain issues, they come and go as far as spotlights, and we wanted to make sure that we kind of made sure the spotlight stayed on this issue long enough to make the impact that we wanted it to do. So it's been quite quick for a feature film, and it's a very low budget film. We kind of weirdly and stupidly funded as we went. So we sort of started the film, and then it became a groundswell, and we attracted incredible partners like Snow Foundation, Minderoo, the Commonwealth Bank, Weir Anderson. All of these fantastic, Good Shepherd have now come on board as a distribution partner. And then we had Palace and Maslow come on board to distribute the film nationally. But that's kind of come as we've gone along. So it's been this real groundswell, and the conversation just keeps growing. And it's just been so fantastic to be having a seat at that table, and making this kind of superpower that I had as a storyteller kind of create the impact that I wanted it to do. So that's kind of how it came about.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, we're lucky because we had a little sneak preview, didn't we? And what was your reaction, Di? Because you were...
You know me, because
I haven't heard this.
Just quick, if you don't mind, I just want to, Maeve, Maeve stars in the film.
Is the lead. Beautiful.
Sorry, and the boy's name in the film?
Otis.
With Otis being Maeve's son. I just wanted to quickly throw over just before I say just to Maeve, how was it for you making that film? And do you have children?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Particularly bearing that in mind.
Yeah. I mean, I approached it in the way that I would always approach a role. It was sort of heavy and joyful. Like the process of making it was so joyful, and particularly with Jazz, just the kind of the way she ties in the creative project to life, like life and creativity are just like that. You know, they're so bound together, so woven together. So it was very joyful. It was very rushed, and there was no money, but it was highest standards, and everyone was all in. Everyone was showing up and doing incredible work, and but yeah, it's heavy, but it's sort of, as actors like heavy material, I think as well. You know, it's sort of they like complex emotional material. I mean, I do anyway. I speak for myself, but I was to be made aware of it as well, all these issues, in a way that I had heard little stories, but I also to really inhabit someone who is going through this felt it was like a learning curve for me to understand what's going on in our culture.
And we hope that will have a ripple effect.
Can I just sort of say something here, just for our listeners as well, can we sort of say, because some people don't even really know what coercive control is and what these issues, can you sort of talk a bit about that so our listeners sort of kind of know?
Well, this is the thing. It's really, really hard to define exactly what coercive control is. However, it is a situation where through different types of techniques, someone is creating a control over someone else without them being completely aware until they lose the sense of themselves and agency, and they're feeling entrapped, and, you know, they don't have choices for themselves anymore. So there's different, and also, you know, a lot of the time the perpetrator is not aware that they're not going to go out saying, I'm going to coercive control you. They're for various reasons, insecurity, also culturally. There's different reasons why these situations come about, but, you know, things like monitoring people where they are all the time, tracking where they are, wanting to know what they're doing at all times, financial control, like inhibiting how much access they have to money, or
I think so many people can really relate to these issues.
And also isolating people away from their family and friends so they have an ownership. It's all about just feeling like, and the other thing is that part of the film and part of what we explored is a lot of these things are seen as love stories or love kind of tokens of love, like, let's share our bank accounts, honey, it'll be so good, that sort of thing, or like, I'll just take over all the money and look after you, or you don't need any friends, you've got me. I just want to keep you safe, so I'll monitor you at all times and track you at all times. All of these things we've grown up to see as, it's so cute, he's tracking me all the time, how cute, things like that. It's like, that is part of our narrative. And, Maeve's character, Sarah, was obsessed with Pride and Prejudice. And for a lot of us, all of these stories, Disney, the Disney fairy tales, all these stories are embedded into our bodies and into our minds about what love is, or what relationship feels like, or what it is in the world. And that kind of, those stories are not, as progressive as we think, because, we get to a point where you're like, this doesn't feel like love in my body. I feel like I don't have choices. I don't have freedom. It's about independence, and it's about true freedom, and where you have your own agency and choice. And I think every single person should be able to choose.
I think that's really good to highlight those things, because there's so many people, and it's because they're subtle, like things of sort of like with the financial control of, all of a sudden you haven't done something and you go to the supermarket and they've blocked your bank account, or just sometimes they can be the subtle things, or the eye rolling, or leaving you out, or and so that's what I think we can talk more about with the movie.
No, but I think it was a great question to ask before because your question to me, I can't wait. It's killing me. You know me. But I'm so glad you said that up front, because where I'm come in now, in reflection from seeing the film.
Yes, so how did you find it?
Well, I had an attitude in my head prior to seeing the film was, oh, this is going to be heavy. Okay? In my head. Disconnect from body, it was in my head. And I got the cinematography in this film, guys, when you see it, is mind-blowing. Congratulations.
So beautiful, I know.
I've got goosebumps.
It won best
I've got
cinematography.
goosebumps as I'm
Where?
saying
At
it.
the Cinematography Awards. It won.
Another
I can pick
award.
them.
Yeah.
It blew my mind because I'm a swimmer.
Go Aussie chicks.
I go to the ocean to heal. When I'm down, when I'm a busy head, too much going on, don't I, Nicola?
She does.
We
I
do
go
too.
I plunge and squeal. I
Yeah.
literally squeal when I'm plunging. So I totally related when you, Maeve, were in the water with this magnificent cinematography. I thought, okay, so all of that's going on out here. But what it made me do was the film made me feel. I wasn't listening to the noise in my head, worrying about people and this issue at hand. I saw you, Maeve, as the mother, trying to come to terms with this, and you're underwater, and it wasn't like, oh wow, it was okay. I'm going to confront this. This is a whole new phase for me, and dealing with a child at the same time, trying to be protective. But I guess to me, ultimately, to repeat what I said, the film made me feel more than try and digest it and break it down in my head.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said
Yeah.
that, because actually, and it's exactly the feedback that we've been getting, is that we did a lot of work. Maeve and I, and Maeve brought this to the project, which is called Dreamwork, and we work with Dreamwork consultants about the feeling that you want each scene to take away. What the feeling that you want to take away. So we actually mapped the entire film about how we wanted the audience to feel. And that's everyone that is watching the film is, as you say, you know, you don't walk into it saying this is a film about coercive control or whatever. It's a story of hope, of family and a relationship.
Yes.
But also the feeling that we've deliberately very much embodied the kind of cinematography, the sound, Maeve's beautiful performances, Sunny's performance, Alex's performances, just about what you can take away and what you feel in your body. And so that is it's been described as lucid dreaming, because it's like we're trying to make people embody the feeling of what it feels like to be in that situation. And that's the feedback we've been getting, so thank you.
Well, thank you.
That's my truth.
Yeah.
you.
And I really relate to water.
I got to
Something
say, you know,
powerful.
we saw it separately
Yes.
as well, and you know,
I couldn't get it. I couldn't
and
download
I
it.
really loved it so much, and I just loved how, and you're absolutely brilliant in it too.
Brilliant.
So absolutely
She's so
brilliant.
Challenging role too.
Yeah, but it was also, I just like the subtlety of it as well, and I think that's also, you kind of nailed it, because that's sort of like with these topics as too, because a lot of it is, it's all sort of like underhand a little bit, and not bringing it sort of to the fore, but you've done it so beautifully. And I liked also that now it's sort of, there's hope as well.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's a really great film, and it's not long at all. It's because sometimes you can see a film now, it's like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't long at all. Where was it filmed, by the way?
So we filmed in 2 locations. We filmed at a friend of mine's family's house that was a deceased estate, and we had a sort of time framed before they were going to renovate, so we had this beautiful home, and we really deliberately wanted to use
in Sydney, isn't it?
that was in Wallara,
Yeah.
and then the family home was in Newport. Yeah,
I thought it was.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
So it's a real northern beaches and beaches.
So it's I think Nicola was talking. One of the questions was it what was some of the fun parts of like filming in someone's house with the pool and everything? Was there crazy things that happened like jumping in pools and people getting I don't know, like water and
it was cold.
cameras.
Yeah, it was actually cold.
Oh, was it cold?
Yeah. So
and how much of it? I mean, you spent so long of it in water too, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much. There were some days I was getting over it.
Yeah, it was a lot. But like Maeve was in wedding dresses, weighted down in the pool, and but we had these.
Hold on to a weight.
Yeah, we
Wow.
had these incredible underwater specialists who I actually pinched off my stepbrother, who's a pro surfer who makes surfing movies, Letty Mortensen. And Spencer Frost came with all of his fantastic gear and was weighted down underneath Maeve, and she was weighted, and it was a lot, but
How scary.
But
being weighted.
Yeah, I mean, I've done all sorts of things.
But it was absolutely spectacular, and
I will repeat, the cinematography blew my mind.
Yeah, as everyone else's now.
I will say too that they've won awards at Montreal. You've won what was the other one?
Best cinematography,
which is good. And I believe you might even be going to Cannes as well.
Yay.
You know, so is that coming up, or let's see. You know,
we're manifesting it.
Exactly.
So.
We think the world's your oyster there.
We're manifesting.
Okay, we'll manifest that.
Maeve, I want to say something to you. There's something about you and water. Like, I'm just saying how scary being weighted down with a wedding dress in water. What about the other film you made, Blackwater, with crocodiles? What is it about you and water and acting?
Yeah, Maeve.
Water sign, I don't know.
Are you a Piscean?
I know.
I was going to say,
you're a Scorpio.
Crazy.
Wow.
I'm a water person too.
It's quite a different role.
Yeah, it's very different. Yeah, a big gap between them. But I was going to say about the house, being in that house, it was something so, it was sort of what I was saying before about the way jazz works, and sort of you feel like you're in this real collective of creative people just working so intently on something. But being in that house, there was something so relaxing. You know, we were all kind of, we had our spaces in the house, and it was sort of, I don't know, it was a very petite, it wasn't a set, you know, so which is so different when you can't go here, you can't go, you know, you
Can we say whose house it was, or no? Okay,
No,
right.
it was a more chilled environment. I get that.
And it just made it, and the kind of atmosphere. You're up here hanging out in the kitchen, and then you're coming down for a scene, and I don't know, just sort of it was unusual.
I was just going to say too, with this too, you're saying it's now bringing these discussions to the fore, and so it's really good now for men and for young men too. And tell us about Man Cave as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
I felt like this film really was a love song to young men.
Oh, how beautiful!
And it's about paving a new way for men to navigate relationships and love, and also to find strength and vulnerability for themselves. And I feel like when we did a sector screening, which was showing the film to all the different kind of organisations in the sector, and Man Cave are an amazing organisation who go into schools and universities and basically teach emotional intelligence to youth through workshops and things like that, and not just basic stuff, really get in there with kind of basic, just respect and gratitude, but also just about self-care and being vulnerable, and really, really gorgeous work. I just was so impressed with them. And so when we had our cinema release with Palace, we asked if they could look at giving a contribution of each ticket to Man Cave to try and encourage this work and to promote and to help them. So we're just very, very kind of excited that we can be in alignment and to support what they're doing, because it is the work.
I love it.
Well
Because
done.
it's such a delicate dance with Maeve, with you and the film, with your son.
Yeah.
Because you both, I was trying to empathise, like going, okay, so where is she at now? She's not quite sure. Everything's fine. No, it's not. Everything's fine. No, it's not. And the son trying to come. You'll see this beautiful, gentle child, and then all of a sudden, because he's trying to come to terms with it too. So it's that dancing of where you both are.
I feel like they're both in transitions. They're both in transition moments in their life, and they're trying to stay together and move apart. And that. So it's such a delicate moment when that teen. I mean, I remember it with my brother. I've got a much younger son, but I remember it with my brother where you you're like a dyad with your mum, and then you have to pull apart, and it can be really rough, or it can be really delicate. It can come apart really delicate, much more delicately.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, it is. It was very, and I love Sonny. Like there was something about.
He was brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
Beautiful.
So, what sort of
Yeah.
message would you like, the viewers to get from the movie, Maeve, yourself?
Just that, not just, but I think that this inner power that we have to move through transitions in our lives, and that we do have the resources, and we can transform our lives, and we can choose something wonderful for ourselves and our children. And
hope, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's about resilience and agency, and if something's not working in your life, to pivot, to just, to make that a new reality.
Well, bravo, and speaking up about it now through, whether it's through movies, whether it's through podcasting, through all different ways, reading, and it's so good for young boys, young girls. It's such a great movie. Yeah.
Maeve, one of the things that got me in the film, because as Nicholas said previously, it's so understated. It's just so, the film's gentle actually, which I find so hard to believe I'm using that word. But the thing that got me was, because I was floating a little bit, excuse the pun. You're in the grocery store and you're going to pay for the groceries. Just describe that to the listeners for me. To me, that was a turning point. I went, oh, slap. Yeah. Okay, this is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's a moment in the film where Sarah has left this relationship and taken her son to somewhere safe. And she goes to buy food for them, and the credit card has been blocked. The card that is in both their names has been blocked. And just a sense of how hard it is to pull away, I suppose, or to that there's the level of control has gotten to such a place where it's
you're stripped.
Yeah, it's stripped. She can't. There's no, how do you get out of that? How do you, if you don't have any of your own resources, how do you...
Frightening.
Frightening yourself safe.
So that's what, guys, you got to see this, because there are different ways, and it's so good that you bring that up, because I was saying, so many people now, we can all relate to it. So many people can in different ways, and it's really great. It's changing. It's really great now to have these discussions in movies. So, well done, guys, on this.
Thank you.
I saw this brochure too, Nick. I just said this. You brought this in. It's Life Could Be a Dream is the name of the film. But the film's about one woman's path to freedom, but they've got here some steps you can take.
Yeah, so this is a partnership. So this will be going up in all of the cinemas. So this is a partnership with the Centre of Women's Economic Safety, Commonwealth Bank, Good Shepherd, and Flequity, and it's about, there's 5 steps of just being able to prevent and secure yourself from being financial abuse. Well, obviously having separate accounts. Making sure that all of your joint accounts are 2 signatures to do anything, always having a private email, making sure you have copies of all your documents, just making sure, I call it housekeeping, and for everybody just to make sure that at any time, depending how much you love someone or how much you trust them, at any time you have agency of your own finances.
Sovereignty.
And it's empowering.
I love these steps, because it just, people go, where do you go? We do a lot of work with Northern Beaches Women's Shelter.
Yes.
And a lot of the work, there's women, there's domestic violence, and there's so many different issues, but there are people out there to help.
Yes.
But it's also to also educate, and steps now and places to go. So, you're now longer not alone, because, so many people are feeling that way and are living through it.
You have to figure it out alone. I love
that there are, and this is just, so good what you're doing.
I'm so proud of you, both of you, and everyone else associated with the film.
Great.
And what's happening next? So it's from,
you're already started.
There's so much happening. There's so much happening. Yeah, this is a beginning of a journey for Maeve and I working together, I must say. It's been such an incredible collaboration. But I think this is, having this experience and having the reaction that we've had, I feel like is something that I feel like is kind of been a real trigger point and a kind of groundswell in the type of kind of conversations we want to keep going. I'm probably not going to jump into another coercive control movie, but also just about, the same kind of using storytelling to create conversations that need to be have, or all those kind of things moving forward. So watch this space.
Well done, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
And what about you, Maeve? Because you've got a whole back history of acting all your life. And incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I just wait to
yes.
wait to see.
She's an actress.
What's it like, the life of an actor? Is it? Hard, easy,
I
tough.
It's so familiar to me now. I don't really know. I mean, you just get used to enjoying the time that's downtime, and it is different having a child now. I enjoy it in a different way.
Yes.
And then you mobilise when things come, and often really quickly, and you just.
And what sort of other roles would people know you from?
Well, I actually lived in London for 10 years. I came back just before doing this film, and I did a couple of BBC series. There was one called And Then There Were None, with Sam Neill and
We love Sam Neill, don't
Miranda
we?
Richardson. And I did a couple of films. Jazz saw me in a Lasse Hallström film called Hilma, about this artist, Hilma af Klint.
Beautiful film. Maeve's amazing.
Artist.
What about early days? Were you an All Saints? Or
One episode
You got-
at the beginning,
She's
I
had
never did a series.
Blackwater scares the life out of me.
I know.
Guys,
well.
honestly, good luck with the film.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Life could be a dream, guys. Remember that.
What a great
Do you wanna
title
ask
as
a few
well, too.
questions?
I'd love to ask a
Would
few
you do-
questions.
off you go.
Okay, and I'm going to go to Maeve first, too. If you
Yeah.
could share a back fence with anybody on planet Earth, who would it be and why?
Wow. The first one that came to me, it's so strange. And a bit random.
Yeah.
But Marie-Louise von Franz was this Jungian. I'm very deep in creative dream work, which Jazz was talking about, and she was a patient of Jung's, and she was a very wise woman, fascinating, fierce. I would just love to have her pick my brain and then pick her brain.
Oh, I'd definitely be there for that.
Exactly.
So will Sam.
Yes, Sam will be there.
Sam's
Our
a life
producers,
coach.
they're going, whoa, yeah.
She's like, yep, I'm there.
Cool. That's brilliant, and no one has ever said that.
No.
So.
I have to be honest, you're out on your own and that, and I'm loving it.
cool.
And what about you?
Well, I have to say, and it was born from what Maeve said, I probably would have Maeve at my back fence, because the work, the collaboration that we do and the container that we create, and also, I'd like a few other people in that back fence as well. However,
We'll hang out, won't we, Di?
yeah, but I feel like that kind
Back
of
crash.
special collaboration in creative space is so rare to find, and you have to hold that close. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's magical.
I actually am trying to get Maeve to move down to my
Okay, next question. Maeve, what makes you happy?
Swimming in the sea. Swimming in the sea,
Girlfriend.
You've got two fish here.
Love it.
What about you, Jazz? What makes you happy?
I love being surrounded by family and friends, actually. I love collaboration and family. Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Well, we know
You get it.
many members of your family, Jazz, and we got to
Love it.
say they're all really beautiful people.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
on. You can
incredible.
also watch
I'm
this
so excited.
on YouTube as well. So everyone sort of subscribe, follow, and we've got a rating system. We love people to rate us, because it helps grow. But Di's got her own rating system. We like the 5 out of 5 stars. If you can do that and share it. But okay, Di, we've got Maeve and Jazz at our back fence. How many stars do these ladies get?
I believe. Well, we're getting decans. I believe.
Yeah, that's right. It's manifesting, and I think because we'll be there, won't we? Cheerleaders.
Oh God, yeah. I've already got the outfit. Isn't it top of 5? Give them 100 out of 5.
Oh,
There you go.
Wow.
Thanks for coming.
Bravo.
guys.
Yeah,
Your
thanks for
tickets
coming.
to the premiere in the mail. Yeah.